4822086. And if you want to text us or you want to WhatsApp us, the number is 0774885505. So I know at least 10 people who are driving that I know, who are round and about the city, and they're doing their morning school runs. And one person, he was calling me from Thurnby Lodge. I don't know where he is right now, but when he was calling me then, he was in that part of the world. So if you are in London, Leicester, wherever you are in England, wherever you're listening in from, Assalamu alaikum. So you have my number. You can call in and talk to me about anything that is your forte, and we can have a good chat. So good morning to you all. Of course, we're still looking for those aspiring young superstars, right? Come on, guys, all of you young people out there, you need to come out and challenge yourselves, right? That is what's going to make you responsible. Everyone keeps telling me that the city is 35 to 40% young people, or even more than 50% young people. Young people, they're saying, are people up to the age of 30. So where are they? Because certainly I haven't seen them here, and we need to find you all and ask you to engage with some serious community development work, right? So challenges that will make you responsible, take on a project, join a charity, do something, because you are the future that we are all investing in. So if we invest in you and you don't step up, then we're going to have a problem, right? So remember that life without a struggle is a life without success. Is that true, Brother Yasin? Right? Life without a struggle is a life without success. So you got to really, as my good friend Brother Salim always says to me, wake up, dress up, show up on time. That's what you got to do. All you young people out there, give me a call right away on 0116482286. So if you know somebody who's in that bracket, encourage them, push them to come forward, come and join us here. Here from the radio, what we're able to do is signpost you to the right charity, right organization, somebody who can help develop your skills, and you can go up the ladder of success in your journey of life. Otherwise, you're going to end up busy on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the 2,900 other channels that we have across the globe. Your time is going to get stolen, and you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. So sometimes we have to make these appeals, and we have to really push. We have to work hard to get all these young people on. We've got some fantastic young guys who have joined us here this year, and we don't need 2, we need 20. We need 20 of you. You're going to carry on doing the work that we have set the foundations for. Across the community, we have the same issues. We need a lot of the young people to come on board. So if in your family, you should start your children off at the age of 7 and 8. Get them involved in good charity causes, doing something good to make a difference. And they will grow up knowing that this is what they have to do. In fact, one of my cousin sisters, she came round at the weekend and she told me some wonderful work that her daughter wants to do. Go abroad and get engaged with some good charitable projects. So I'm going to try and arrange something for her. Zarina, I shall look forward to have you join us sometime in August abroad. And we're doing the Once Upon a Time 50 Years project, which is going across the country called Uganda. That is all to do with the Ugandan Asians who forcefully left, refugees, came into England and across the globe, in Canada, in Denmark, in Norway, in Sweden, and some other countries. And what we're doing now is we're doing 50 projects in Uganda. So if you're from Uganda and you have family there, your grandfather, your father, then do let us know. And we'd like to engage with anybody who wants to do a project. The projects are basically primary school development, water. Water is a huge problem across the continent of Africa. You'll know of many, many charities who are getting involved in digging water wells for villages. So water is very important. Then we are doing orphanages and healthcare. These are the four sectors that we are working in Uganda. So I want all of you who would like to take part in this project, then do give me a call on 0116 4822 So across the city, across the country, you're going to see many projects related to Uganda this year, because this year is once upon a time, 50 years ago. It's a strapline that we here at the radio came up with once upon a time, 50 years ago, and we're going to have a lot of interest in that. Already, a lot of people are getting involved. So, for example, I got a message from a person in Turkey telling me that my husband is passed away and I'd like to donate or finance books for children in a primary school in his city. He lived in a city called Masaka, and she wants to donate. Now, where the internet is wonderful, people get to know, and a message comes all the way from Turkey. Can you believe that? Who would have thought that somebody in Turkey would have connected and come forward to say that I want to donate some books and some money so that we can purchase some books and send them here to primary school. So kind of things you want to do is related to primary schools, water wells, and a lot of villages, they have to walk 10 miles just to get a bucket of water, which then they have to make it last for 2 days. And these are the conditions that people are living in. So if you think that these countries struck with poverty across Africa, what is the best thing what you can do for the children there is water and nutrition. If you can fix these two issues, you will create a better tomorrow. Nutrition is so important, because like one caller yesterday told me that, well, they cannot be expected to be living on sweet potato for the rest of their lives, because that is a staple in most African countries. There's some in the southern Africa, they call it pap. Some are calling it different names, but it's all a staple food made out of flour. And they mix it with water, and that's what they're eating. So this is the sad fact over there. Another call that I had was to say that, well, for us, we don't have the luxury of the 20 selection of cereals that you are eating at home. What did you have at Seri time? Did you have a cereal? Well, you had a selection of Rice Krispies, Weetabix, cornflakes, and Special K, and hundreds of them you've got to choose from. They simply get a bowl, they put some powdered milk in it and some vitamins and add water, and that is, if you are in a luxury environment, that's the kind of cereal you're going to have, because not many people are going to be able to afford these cereals that we pick up in a supermarket here in England at leisure. So it's a big problem. Cereals, everything across the food chain. So nutrition, good food for children is a good start for them in their lives. And did you know that your IQ levels, your thinking, your whole pattern as you grow up, it all depends on your nutrition from when you were 1 year old, 2, 3, and so on, right up to the age of 10. If you have not been eating nutritious food, you will have a problem after that. So this is what lies ahead. Poverty, poverty, poverty. There are 3 P's that we need to address poverty. This second one is poverty, and the third one is poverty. And of course, they're all related to the 4 M's. Do you know what the 4 M's are, right? If you know your 4 M's, put your hand up and let me know right now if you know what the 4 M's are. So I'm going to leave that with you. I want you to call me and let me know your version of the 4 M's. There are 4 M's in this world that everybody runs around. So if you know that answer, then do call me on 0116 4822 or you can WhatsApp or text on 0774 885505. So after 9 o'clock, we're going to be discussing a very important subject. It's to do with the foreign nurses that are here in England. And I want you guys to start thinking right now and talk to me about that. Do you know how many foreign nurses are in England working in the NHS? And if you don't know the answer, then do let me know, because this is a very important matter, that foreign nurses that are studying in England or they are working in England in your NHS, when you see them, you will not even be able to guess which country they are from. Which country are they from? Anywhere, could be West Africa, could be East Africa, could even be Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India. So guys, we do need to know this is very important. It affects all of us here in England as to the plight of these foreign nurses. So after 9 o'clock, we're going to be discussing that matter in some detail. Of course, a lot of that is all interconnected with the HISR. Of course, yesterday I mentioned the HISR to you, allowing you plenty of time to go and do some research to find out what is HISR. So, of course, I'm going to still not had anybody call back about the 4 M's. What are the 4 M's that define the world today, right now? And this is what we're talking about. And of course, somebody just sent me a message saying that I'm still trying to remember what the 3 D's are, right? Yesterday we talked about the 3 D's, and that was a reminder again for you. It was discipline, direction, and detoxification. That was the theme we are running this year on the radio: discipline, direction, and detoxification. Of course, throughout the month of Ramadan, not only Ramadan, but after Ramadan, we need to pay attention to the 3 Ds all throughout our lives. Your life is a train journey. Across the journey, you're going to come to almost 50 stations, and you're going to have to navigate your ups and downs. And earlier on, we said your challenges are going to make you more responsible. So if you start very early and you get good guidance, you get good support structure behind you, then life will not be a struggle. And anyway, if you do have struggles, no success is going to come to you if you don't have a struggle. You got to have some element of a struggle in life in order to see success. And of course, if you work your life around the akhirah, then that is the way forward. So the 3 Ds will work for you: your discipline, your direction, and your detoxification of your mental state, your spiritual state, and everything else. Detoxification is not only physical, it's also spiritual and mental as well. So this is very important for all of us to pick up on this. So got a message again for the Talent Foundation. Can you tell us more about this? Of course, this throughout the month we'll be talking about the Talent Foundation, and we're going to start implementing the right contacts for this. But what this basically is, that if you have anybody talented in your household who's 7, 8 years old, right up to the age of 20, and they need some support, some direction, they need to be connected with somebody who is experienced, a professor, a master's, or a PhD, then they will be connected with that person. And that's what the Talent Foundation is all about. So if you have any names, send them over to me. Then I can signpost you and direct you to the people who are running the Talent Foundation. And of course, if you are talented and you have a kid in your house, then connect me. Let me connect them with somebody else who will be able to help them. A mentor, or you can call them a guru, or you can call them a teacher. Somebody will give good direction. And there are plenty of people out there who want to do that kind of work. And nowadays, everything's going to happen on an app. Young kids they're going to pick that phone up and they're going to press a key and they'll connect directly to their mentor, who will connect back with them on the phone. And that's how tomorrow's world is going to be. Everything is going to be like that. You're going to all have to be ATCs, adapt to change. You cannot be remaining an RTC, resistance to change. So we all have to come on board and get involved. So, of course, the Talent Foundation is something that we will be promoting here on the Radio Ramadan. So if anybody wants to get involved with that, if you are a teacher or you are an expert in your profession, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, you're a dentist, anything, any professions, then you connect with us and we'll add your name on to be a mentor. So please let us know if you wish to get involved. Now, sometimes when you reach out to the people, the public across the world, across local or national or global, wherever you are, you don't get a response immediate, but then somebody will pick you up on the Facebook and then they'll contact you, and we can then move forward with your name and signpost it to the right people. So that is to do with the Talent Foundation. So do get involved with that and let us know. So somebody sent me a message just now saying, what is HISR? Well, I did tell you that yesterday, but you've forgotten already. So I'm going to tell you right now what that means is historic, institutional, systemic racism. That's what the HISR is. Of course, this will be recorded somewhere on Google, if you can look for it, and you'll find it. And once upon a time, 50 years ago, people who are connecting with me on that, I shall definitely get in touch with them after the program. It's something very important for everyone to know the history. If you don't know yesterday, you're not going to know today, and tomorrow ain't going to be a better day for you, right? So you've got to have good knowledge about your history. Well, this is 50 years only, but you need to know, what do you reckon? You need at least 100 years of history under your belt. That is to know what happened in the last century in terms of how many people perished in wars, where the poverty areas were throughout the 100 years. Of course, start with 100 years. Let's make that a challenge for all of you that get to know at least the last 100 years of history, what happened. And then you will be much better for it, because a little bit of knowledge is your power. We call it the KIP on the radio, knowledge is power. If you have that, you're going to be so much better for it. So 100 years of history you got to know about. And then in that 100 years, much has happened, much has come by, much has passed by. So for example, if you will say that 50 years ago, when the Ugandan Asians came into England, what were the conditions like for them as refugees 50 years ago, and refugees who are here from many other countries, Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Yemen, from Somalia, and from Chad. Who even knows that there's been a war going on there in Chad and Mali for the last 20 years, right? Who knows that? Do you know that? Did you know that? No, you did not know that. So we live in a I don't know society, I don't have a clue society. That's what we live in today. So it is incumbent upon all of us to help all of us, to educate all of us, to keep us all informed about what is going on around you, around the global arena, what is going on, because we don't know sometimes. And then if you're going to wait for media to keep you informed, it ain't going to happen, because sometimes media is focusing on one country when another country is perishing and nobody looks at that country. So these are some of the subjects we're going to talk about with some of our politicians who are going to come on the program, and they're going to be asked this question by me, that do you understand disparity? One of the D's also means disparity. There's a huge disparity with everything in this planet, right? People are not being informed. That's a disparity. So we need to deal with these things and ask the questions. If we don't ask the questions, we'll never get the answers, right? So we must never be shy or never be afraid. We need to ask these questions all of the time to your MPs. Now, a lot of people, when you have issues, you got to put pen to paper, write to your MP, because your MP works for you. You don't work for your MP. You got to write to your councillors, you got to write to your MPs, and you got to talk to them, and they'll give you a reply, because they are duty bound to give you a reply on that standard paper that is used in Parliament. And you must be proactive. If you have got an MP in your area, anything that concerns you, you should write to them. The more people write in, the more difference you're going to make, because sometimes an MP eventually will listen when all his constituents are writing to him about a certain matter. If you think that there is something disturbing you, you're not happy with something in your area, then you got to pick up that pen and paper, contact your MP. Now, it's very easy now. You can even email your MP, and you can put your thoughts, your complaints to your MP, and he'll give you a reply. And of course, if you don't do that, then you're going to be a bystander, sit there, you're going to be moaning and complaining. That's what you're going to be doing, moaning and complaining. So here we used to call that, on the radio years ago, we used to call it the MAC, moaning and complaining. That's what it meant. So you don't want to do that. You want to connect with your MP. Oh, here's a test for you then. Who is your local MP? Do you know? Do you know his name? Right? So if you know your local MP, that is a good start. Most people don't even know who is the local MP in your area. So put your right hand up if you know your local MP, right? Right this minute. Let's do a little test on all of you listening in, right? The brother Arshad here is listening in. I know he's listening in. He's just sent me a message about disparity. Now, if you know your local MP, put your right hand up right away. Let's do a little test. You see, here, half of you don't even know. And half of you ain't even got the energy to put your right hand up right now. You know, you're still one eye closed from Seri. That's how you're feeling right now, you know. From your morning Seri, you're still a little bit half asleep. So I think this is a very important subject we want to talk about is, do you know your MP? If we run a campaign, we'll find that half the people don't know their MP. So what's going wrong here? Is the MP disconnected from you, or are you disconnected from your MP? Or are you not taking any part in your political landscape, in your city, in your country? What's going on? So if we get these answers, we can quickly define what's going wrong, and we can start to do something about it, right? So we're talking about MPs, but I'll give you an even tougher one. What about your local councillor? Do you know the name of your local councillor? So let's put your hand up again. If you know your local councillor, put your right hand up and tell me. Tell me the name of your local councillor. So you can call me on 0116 4822 So across the country, you're in London, you're in Leicester, you're in Bradford, wherever you are, you got to know all your councillors. You got to know how your council works, how many councillors are in your local city council cabinet, and then you got to start there. Then you move up to your MP. You got to learn about the disparities everywhere, right? If you think that there is something wrong, you got to put pen to paper and put your views forward. So the more young people get engaged at an early age, the better we're going to make a better society tomorrow. But if you young people don't get engaged in the political landscape of our country, then we're all going to be suffering. So this is very important, and I want you all to come on board. We can't do this alone. We can only do a better community tomorrow if all of you get involved. So I want everyone here now to get in touch with us on 011648222086 to tell us about your talented kid. We're going to make a note of your talented young superstar, boy, girl. We're going to put them in the right direction, connect them with somebody else who's going to be their mentor and their guide, and give them some good career advice and give them some very much needed support. That's very important. So give us a call on the radio and we'll take some notes. Or you can text us on 0774885505. So we're going to join you straight after a little commercial break, and then we're going to talk about the nurses when we come back. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Don't go away. Just a little short break. Assalamu alaikum.
extended to refugees from Palestine, Yemen, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, Mali.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because this guest is not coming, can we do like a.
There's a caller that called in before the break. I told him to call after the break. He should be.
What was it about?
I think I'm not sure what it was about, but he's gonna call back afterwards.
Okay, always ask them what's it about and take their number down always. Then we can call them. Did you take the number?
I told him to call back after.
No, take the number. Sometimes they don't call, then we can call them back, right?
Okay, that's fine.
And what you do is like you can do like a nasheed break as well.
What do you mean?
Like put a nasheed on.
He hasn't taught me how to do that yet.
Okay, learn how to do that as well. When a guest doesn't come, then we need to do that.
Okay, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. Of course, sabr, sabr, sabr. That's what it's all about, brothers and sisters. Patience. This is one of the words most written in the Holy Quran. So, Jazakallah khair for waiting. You're listening to Zed on the Rise and Shine. You can see that I'm rising and I'm shining right now. And I want you to be doing the same. You're listening to me on 87.7 FM. And you can call me, a caller. Always, they're calling during the break. So you can call again on 0116 4822 or you can call on 0774 885505. So we have a caller again. Put him through, please. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Zed.
How are you, brother? I'm trying to recognize your voice. My voice activation system is letting me down today. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, not too bad. I'm okay. But I'm not going to basically say who I am. I think you're testing everyone this morning with all your amazing abbreviations, words, and everything. So it's a test for you. You need to know who I am.
Yeah, well, I think I recognize your voice now because you're a giveaway. You,
Go on then.
brother Sajid. So
Brother Zed. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, not too bad, brother. Not too bad.
How has the year been for you? We've had a lot of struggles throughout the year with the pandemic and so many other problems, that come along with the pandemic, with the mental health issues, and so many people that we know, both of us, don't we, that have lost their lives during the pandemic.
Yes, unfortunately, it's been. I've lost my father last year.
Yes, yes. May Allah grant him Jannah.
Ameen. Which was a real difficult one, and with my health, my eyesight obviously has deteriorated quite rapidly as well, which has been struggle. So I'm going through life-changing experiences at the moment. But alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal, what Allah gives, He's put whatever's written in your nasiib. You've just got to accept and do your best. And you've always got to look at it as worse people off than you. So alhamdulillah, just got to carry on. But you cheer me up. That's the most important thing.
Of course, this month of Ramadan, like we do every year, we try to always say to people that, look, we got to live. The month of Ramadan, we got to live every day. And we cannot just say that only 1 month Allah created the dunya just for 1 month.
Yeah, absolutely. Bashak. Very true.
We need
very,
it to
very
be
true.
every day like that. Imagine if we live in that spirit, in the spirit of forgiveness, in the spirit of giving, and in the spirit of eliminating poverty. And if we live like that, then we will cure poverty. Yesterday, we put out a call out to even to yourself that let's say A to Z, A, B, C, D, E, right up to Z. Each one of those letters denotes a tax that we pay in this country, right?
Yes.
So I said, look, why am I going to do all the work? Let's pass it on to you and all of your friends, your brothers and sisters. Let them tell me what is the tax for the letter B that we pay. And we had a message from a chap. He said, the best of taxes that we pay is the letter Z. Wow. Brother Z. Now that was, I thought he was talking about me. He said, no, Z for zakat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it kind of made me jump, It made me jump. And I said, you know what? In our system here, is there a tax denoting letter Z? I don't think so, there is. But in our deen, the letter Z is for zakat, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes. It's true.
Now, that,
true.
brothers and sisters, if you're listening in right now, if all of us, every one of us on the planet, we paid our zakat in the right direction, would we help or even eliminate poverty? That's a question to all of you.
Yeah. It's paramount. Everybody basically takes the right zakat out, and it's paramount that giving is no. I think people. I think, to be honest, Leicester is a incredible city when it comes to giving, and I think it's not only in Ramzan. Obviously, Ramzan people's hearts are open heartedly, and everyone. When I say everyone who gives, They give very, very generously.
Well, throughout
think
the world,
India-
if you look at all the different communities throughout the world, they all donate vast sums of money for zakat, and then this zakat has to then go to the rightful places, and eliminating poverty is one of them. In fact, it is the fundamental
is.
one, isn't it?
It is. But I think the other thing we all need to realize is that all our masajids, every little massage we've got, whether we want one in the corner, one of the main masajids, we always need to take care of our masajids, because at the end of the day, charity begins from home.
Of course, now zakat has rulings. Your local imam will tell you better if you're not too sure as to how the zakat should be distributed and where it should be distributed. And some people will just make up their own versions and their own narratives, but do take heed of that. It's very important. But then, you can also do the sadaqah for your local masjid or for your anywhere else.
Yes,
you can
of
do
course.
a lillah payment, and it's all charity. And if we look after our city, and then the city will understand and appreciate us even more, right? That when you're a Muslim, you're born giver.
Yes,
And you give from the day you're born till you leave this dunya, right? It's all going to be left behind. So all of us here have known somebody somewhere who's passed away from COVID, haven't we?
yes.
And in these last 3 years, from 2019, March, April, right up to now, it's almost 3 years now.
True. As you said the other day, I think people still need to take responsibility. I think the problem we've got at the moment is, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. But I think we need to be careful. We have to live life. Life has to go on. We have to live life with. We have to learn to live with COVID. But I think people still need to take responsibility, because remember that you basically infect someone, you're committing a sin as well. So you've got to be cautious. But obviously we can't control people's minds. But as I said, COVID is still COVID's not going to go away. It's never going to go away. It's something that's going to live with us. But you need to be careful. It's as simple as that.
Well, if you're on the Facebook, you'll see that I've got my mask on half because I'm just kind of used to it. And I was away for most of 3 months after Christmas. And all we could hear about England is that the rates are spiraling. And up to now, they have 5 million people who are positive. And that is 5 million that they know about. So people are walking around, they're positive, they don't even know it. And it's the variant we have now, the Omicron variant, is like a flu. So if you catch a flu, you don't know it, but it's very highly contagious. And the doctor came along on Sunday and explained to us about how contagious it is, and the variants coming ahead are going to be likewise. We're like going through the Greek alphabet, aren't we?
Yes, true. We are going through the Greek alphabet.
So it's something
It's all
we
about
have to live
cautious.
with.
You've got to be cautious. That's all it is.
We have to live with it, and definitely. So just a quick test for you, Sajid, the 3 Ds. Do you remember them, or have you made up your own 3 Ds?
The 3 Ds.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Shall I
No.
quickly remind you so you can get a pen and paper like everybody else out there and write it down? It's discipline, direction, and detoxification. That is the
Blimey.
three Ds for this year for you to add
Right.
to your
So
vocabulary.
So what was it again?
Discipline, direction,
Discipline. Yes.
detoxification. Right?
Detoxification. I need
Yeah.
to remember the third one. I can remember the first two. I have to remember the third one.
The third one is very important because, during the month of Ramadan, your body goes through a period of detoxification, does it not?
It does.
Yeah. So you got to go through detoxification, you got to purify your whole body, and then also there's mental purification and there's spiritual purification, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you're listening to the Quran, you are going through a process of purification, aren't you?
Yes.
So this is why detoxification is very important, and I can't stress that enough. So all of you, I'm going to tell you one more time, then tomorrow I'm going to test you again to see if you know your sabak, right? Discipline, direction. Direction and devotion can be the same, but detoxification, that's the third one. So that is the 3Ds. Now, if you've got your own 3Ds, then bring it on. Then we'll find out who's got the best 3Ds. How's that, Brother Sajid?
I will definitely remember that, inshallah.
That will keep you on your toes, won't it?
Absolutely. You always keep me on my toes, Brother Zaid.
And
Always.
of course, earlier on, I mentioned to you about the Talent Foundation, that we have a lot of young, aspiring kids, boys and girls in our families, in our friendship circle, and people that we know from all the community, that we need to signpost them to the Talent Foundation, who will then signpost them on to the right professional who will act as their mentor.
Mentor, yes. It's important. It's always important.
And then if we give support to them, that is going to be fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, I still remember your son basically did this bicycle thing. Was it last year or the year before? That was something really, really good.
Well, they do it every year, the Riders of Sham. So
that's the one.
They come regularly on the radio. They do a fundraise, and also they a fantastic group. Now, what is pleasing with them is that they have got some succession. They've got some more young people on board. And what we are asking this year from everybody listening in the community is that the young people come on board, forcefully bring them on board and get them involved, whether it's through a sporting channel, through a charity channel, through a business channel, whichever channel that you do, bring young people on board, get them to be part of the community.
Really yes, it's really, really important. The problem we've got at the moment is society has forgotten youth, and I think we need to bring the youth back into
it's not only that.
the system.
The youth have to do what we say here on the radio: wake up, dress up, show up on time, right? So sing that with me. Wake up. Come on.
Wake up.
Yeah, dress up.
Dress up.
Show up on time.
Show up on time. Yes, time is absolutely paramount.
Of course it is. Everything revolves around time, so we need to, you got to all work together on this, and you, Brother Sajid, have got to help me to achieve these goals, right? And we are here to strengthen our community, carry out the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And then we're all going to be happy for it.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
You will all be rewarded. And I was just listening to some of your presenters. Obviously, as you said on Sunday, with radio, it's extremely, extremely difficult to sustain it. And I think there's a lot of credit should go to you, all the presenters, and all the thing that goes in the background to get new presenters. Because
I'll tell you what, this year we are putting out a very hard push to get young people on board, boys and girls, and mashallah, I see a lot of new faces, but to keep them sustainable is a challenge.
Yeah, that's
so
difficult.
the half of those young people we had last year, we haven't seen them this year because they've disappeared, they're busy with children, but to keep it sustainable, some formula is required for that, Brother Sajid, whether we have to find money to pay them, to keep them on board. And of course, the 4 M's. Did you catch up on that? The 4 M's?
No. To be honest, this is the first time I'm listening. Well, the first time I heard you was on Sunday. And then obviously I'm listening to you today. So, no, tell me, but I will interact with you.
Okay,
inshallah,
I'm going to whisper it, right? Because I don't want everyone to hear this one. The 4 M's is related, is between you and I, right? So let's everybody else listening in right now, just take a break. It's not for you. It's only for Brother Sajid here. The 4 M's is, number 1 M is your little finger. Put your fingers out. Put all your 4 fingers out, right?
Yeah.
The little one, fold it now and say after me, money.
Money.
That's the little finger. Now fold the other finger, your 3rd index finger, right?
Yeah.
That is money again.
Money, yeah.
And now your longest finger, the middle one, right?
Yeah.
That is more money.
Yeah.
And then the last finger.
Money as well.
Money as well. So that is the 4 M's. Now, this is how we are living our lives, right? Money, money, more money. And think about that. This is something for everybody to think about, right? Because when we live our lives and it's completely controlled with money, more money, then we're not going to progress. We may personally progress, but we will not progress with the unity in humanity concept.
Absolutely, and money. Yes, money is unfortunately part and parcel of life, but money is not everything.
Now, Brother Sajid, I want you to listen in. We're going to talk about two topics, right? Listen in and send your messages in for that. One is disparity, right? There's a huge disparity. And you know the kind
Okay.
of disparity I'm talking about, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, how is it that a Ukrainian, blue-eyed blonde, is more valuable to the human race than the Palestinians, the Yemenis, the Afghanistanis, the people in Mali,
glad,
the
I'm really
Africans?
glad. I'm really glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because I am very, very, very. I have strong views about that. Very, very strong views.
So
I mean,
we need to ask these questions to all our MPs, because as a lot of people are asking me these questions, like I'm the
Yeah.
decision maker of our foreign policy, it's not me. I'm just a little mere small-time presenter on Radio Ramadan called Zed.
Yeah.
So all of you need to get pen and paper, write to your MP and ask him this question, which was asked upon me, is that how are we going to have humanity, solidarity, and unity? How are we going to have that if we tell the world that these Ukrainians are more important than anybody? They can have a job status, they can have medical status, they can have every status that is for me and you, Sajid, but yet all these other refugees, they cannot have anything. Yeah?
Yeah.
They don't have any statuses at all.
No, they don't. They
So-
don't. I haven't seen any house schemes for Palestinian brothers and sisters. I haven't seen anything about Iraqis or the Afghans or anyone like
And
that.
nor have I seen the 300 odd pounds for all of these people.
Yeah, and I'll give you one prime example. All this, yeah. Look, whatever's happening in Ukraine, it's wrong. You know, I know it's not. It shouldn't be happening, and obviously it's completely. But it's not acceptable. It's we all, we're all humans, and obviously we all have to basically think. We all have to understand that. I appreciate.
Of course, I would say that this is a sentiment of most people that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
So we need to have equal treatment for all human beings across the globe.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
We need to absolutely make that clear to our MPs. That's what they're there for, that if we don't have equal treatment, then we have to question integrity. We got to question your values, your ethics, your morals. Where do your values lie?
When are you getting it? When is this debate?
Right now, we've started it off, we've kicked it off, and we'll be talking about it throughout the month, right? Because
Okay.
this is all in relation to the spirit of Ramadan, that humanity, equality, solidarity, unity. How are we going to have all that if we are going to pick and choose? Caste, color, creed, religion, culture, tradition. Do we carry on like that? Right? There are barriers that we have created, human beings have created themselves, based around caste, color, creed, culture, tradition, religion, and so much more. And then patriotism and nationalism. Don't set me off, guys. Don't set me off. Otherwise, I'll go on one.
No, but the thing is, it's good to talk about these things because the problem here is we talk. Some people have different views about it, but it's good to talk about it because if you don't have a debate, then we ain't gonna we'll never know.
Well,
I think
that's
it's
wonderful
MPs,
thing about England, that we can debate, we can discuss, and we can share thoughts.
Yeah.
In many countries, you can't do that, right? There's only one opinion, and it's his opinion, right? And you got a problem, haven't you? So if we're going to have humanity, solidarity, unity, we got to challenge each other, right? There's nothing wrong in that, Brother Sajid. So
And I think we need to challenge. I think people are. I don't know. This is just my way of thinking. These MPs, and no disrespect to the councillors, and I know it's a difficult job they do, and it's a tough ask what they do. and they do a good job. I know they're very heavily criticised that, or they just don't do anything, sit behind curtains. The councillors do have a difficult job. Believe me, they do. They do have a difficult job. 'Cause I know a few of them very, very well, and I think they do quite a lot in the background. But I think we need to put more pressure on the MPs for them to be our voice in Parliament.
The sadness is, for me, we came here 50 years as refugees, right? And we had a different dynamic 50 years ago. We came here because we were British passport holders in Uganda, right? So the British had to take us in because we carried a British passport. And we were known as British protectorates. So you can work that one out, what that means. That means basically all the Asians that were uplifted from India at that time were brought over to Africa, were offered this product called "You are now a British protectorate." So
Yes.
then when the time came, you were able to come to England. So you were able to enjoy all the Commonwealth countries as a British protectorate. It's like a membership club. So that's how we ended up here in England. And when we came here, of course, we were straight into many, many different areas in our society. If you see the city of Leicester, where did the Asians, when they come here, go to work straight off? You wouldn't remember because you were not born then. But there were 4 or 5 factories which predominantly filled their vacancies with British Ugandan Asians, which is the...
Right, okay.
And likewise in London as well, there were many specific places where the Asians went to work around the Dagenham area, Essex area, around there, because that's where the camps were for the Ugandan Asians. So there's a lot for us to reflect upon, that how it was 50 years ago to where we are today with the Ukrainian refugees. So in the last 50 years, the issue of refugees into this country has never stopped. It has never stopped. There has never been a decade where there was no influx of refugees into this country. Now, that brings me on to another area which I would like to discuss with all our listeners right now, is the issue of overseas nurses who are trapped in the UK, right, with contracts where they have to pay an absolute arm and a leg, right, for exit fees. So, for example, they've come into the country and now if they want to leave that job, they have to pay a horrendous sum of money to leave the job. It's called an exit fee, right? So a lot of these international nurses, Sajid, are being locked into toxic work environments, right?
Yes.
In the UK. And they are being exploited. And who is paying any attention to them? Who is bringing their plight on the table? Do you know anybody who's doing that? So when they want to leave the job, they have to pay thousands of pounds, right? And this
Get out of there, yeah.
How about if you had to pay £5,000, for example, to leave your job where you're working now? Would that be nice?
No, of course not. Of course not.
So there is a lot of concerning evidence which has emerged, which UK employers are using to try and retain these overseas nurses. And there's a huge shortage of them. Did you know that in the health service?
Yes. Yes.
So there is a system of recruitment which is absolutely causing alarm bells at the moment, right? Which more investigation is required on that, which I shall be on to with our team here. We have a very, very small team, but we shall do what we can, right? And this needs to stop urgently, and a lot of knowledge has to be transferred to our MPs that this is what's happening. And why has there constant shortage in the NHS for these nurses? What is the reason for that, Brother Sajid?
Well, I think the NHS personally has been really, really badly missed out. You know, all these ministers and all them, they've all had a pay hike in their pay packets, and the ones who've been at the front line of I don't like mentioning the word again, but I will do with the pandemic. There were without the NHS staff, I think we would have this country would have been in a standstill. And not only the NHS staff, but I think social workers and adult social care as well. They've taken a massive lead. But unfortunately, the ones who've done all the groundwork, a lot of groundwork, and I'm not saying only NHS and adult social care have done the groundwork. Everyone's done a lot in the pandemic, but these guys have put themselves at the front line of everything, and they've put their lives at risk. I know some people who weren't even going home from their shift from hospital just in case they passed it on to their family, and that is a massive sacrifice. But again, they have to pay for car parking now. They have to do this. They have to do that. Instead of we need to look after those who've basically been there and who've basically support, who've lifted this country out of what's been an enormous amount of pressure they were under. But unfortunately, the nurses are forgotten. Not only the nurses, even the doctors. I think the NHS for me have been absolutely fantastic, but wrong people are basically being rewarded. The NHS should be rewarded. Full stop.
Of course. So there is a lot of people who are in this situation in the NHS and also in the private sector. So this problem is across the board in our nurses' situation, in the care homes, in the hospitals. So it's absolutely shocking as to how many nurses are being asked to come from Philippines, from West Africa, from across the globe. And there's a huge shortage being advertised even now as we speak.
Yeah,
so
of course.
We really need to address all these issues and see that we cannot just sit back and let these things happen, because it amounts to a form of slavery, doesn't it?
Does to a certain extent, yeah.
When you're exploiting a human being, then what does that go to say? Yeah. So we must all follow the message this month of Ramadan and hereafter, that humanity, solidarity, and for us all to be united is absolutely
Inshallah.
important. And we all here, we like a big family. Let's take the lead in trying to do good in this dunya.
You carry on doing what you're doing, Brother Zed. You're doing a fabulous job in the morning. I think I just need to get my memory back on track again with all your abbreviations, because...
Well, I want you to write them all down, because, I want you to pass them on so people are paying attention, right? And attention to fine detail is very important, right?
Yes.
And we always say that attention to fine detail. So when we apply for a job, whatever we do, it's always attention to fine detail. If you miss out that fine detail, you may not get the job. So
yeah, exactly.
All of you listening in today, just an hour has just gone by so quick, and I want all of us to work together as a team in the whole wider community with our councillors, our politicians. They can't do the job without us, and we need to work together with them. So you go take your call, Sajid, because you're disturbing my transmission here with your phone call.
Right? That's somebody at work.
So we're going to say goodbye to you now, and then we're going to carry on with the program.
Look after yourself, okay?
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. So that is wonderful to speak to one of our avid listeners who's always been supportive of the radio. We appreciate that. And radio cannot happen without the support of the local businesses, with local community, from our politicians, from all sectors of our vicinity here. Radio cannot happen. So we need to all keep in touch and make a better world together. We can't do it alone. We need to all work together. So, guys, it's been an absolute wonderful hour spending with you, right? And we're going to join you tomorrow at this time. And if you know anybody who's from Ukraine that can talk to me tomorrow, then bring it on. I need to speak to this Ukraine, and I want to ask them that question, is that what is the reason why you are getting special treatment far and above all the other refugees on this planet? I want to ask them directly and let them answer to me, because I'm also going to get somebody to connect me with somebody from Ukraine. So guys, Jazakallah khair. You're listening to Zed on the Rise and Shine. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.